TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing.
Listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man. Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the walls to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying. Hey, how you guys doing? We missed you.
Yes,
Welcome
we did.
to another edition of Talk Show Kings.
Yeah.
We are your kings having big fun out
Here
on
on TV 1061 in
Douglasville,
Douglasville, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have the kings introduce themselves, starting on my far right.
What's up, y'all? I'm Trevor David. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
Got here a little bit late tonight.
Yes,
Some
okay.
rain, but still, God brought me here, so I'm glad to be here, y'all.
Okay,
I have a
okay.
good show. We're going to be talking about some toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. So if you ain't know before, you're going to learn today.
You gonna learn
You'll
today.
learn today.
All right.
Hey,
Interesting.
welcome. Thank you for joining the show. I'm none other than the birthday boy himself,
The Milton
King
Happy
Lundy.
birthday,
Hey,
brother.
thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for celebrating my birthday with me. I had an awesome time. Thumbs up to my family and loved ones. Thank you for tuning into the show. Like my brother said, if you don't know,
You
better ask
learn
somebody.
today.
You gonna
Watch
have
it
to
absolutely.
here. Yes, sir. This is me. I'm King Mel. I'm here, man. The Florida boy is in the building. I'm ready to give my perspective on this toxic masculinity and this toxic femininity. And I didn't know that King Lundy was a fellow Sag. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking
Everybody
about.
not lucky.
Hey, they just not, man. We is something special.
And it's your boy ATL Doc coming live at you from Talk Show Kings. Hey, I want to jump right into this because I
Yes.
consider myself to be toxic and masculine
Right.
by definition. So I'm curious, did anybody look it up and get the,
I
the-
absolutely
the
did.
King James
Well, let's hear it
definition?
then.
The King
Okay.
James, Webster's definition.
This is King James version. Huh? Okay then.
So what I found was toxic masculinity is defined as a man who has negative aspects of exaggerated male traits. Some of those aspects are non-emotional. Violence is a viable option. Controlling, overly possessive, insensitive, sexist, silent, sexually aggressive, dominating, hyper-competitive, low empathy. Do these sound like anything that describes any of y'all? King Doc, I'm gonna start with you. I mean,
Yes.
you
Yes.
it's all you.
I don't consider myself to be negative, but I do consider myself, I don't think that men and women are equal.
Right.
I don't feel like that by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like there are a lot of things that women are just naturally born and are better at than men, and vice versa. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, but as a general rule of thumb, I don't feel like we're not the same. We're equal, but not the same. Like, I don't feel like one is better than the other. However, I don't feel like that where you can replace one with the other and everything will be okay. I just don't, my mind does not work like that. Another thing about me is I don't consider myself controlling, but I do say that there are certain aspects that a woman has to have in order to be with me, and if she has certain aspects, then I'll try to conform to be with her. Otherwise, then there's just no use of us being together, because there are some things that I'm not going to do, period. Just not. I don't share my woman. Some people are okay with the hey, if that's your thing, do you, but not me. Some people are, with the neck rolling and the fighting and I'm not going to hit a woman. If you're my woman, your beauty is everything to me. So why am I going to ruin? No. So if that makes me toxic, I'm cool with that.
So, I mean, everything that you just said sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hear anything toxic in any of that. Let me say a few more these adjectives. And you tell me which ones, all you fellas, tell me which ones stand out as characteristics that you have, or fellas you know, brothers, uncles, fathers. Sexist. Anybody here? Sexist.
Well, that's when I say that men and women aren't the same. To a lot of people, that's considered sexist. I don't think that a woman NFL player is realistic. I just don't. And it's because women's bones are more brittle. They don't normally get as big as men. They're not as physically gifted as men are. So to me, we're just not interchangeable. We're just not. So some people will consider that sexist. I'm okay with that.
I don't consider that. I don't think that's sexist. What about you guys? Overly possessive. King Lundy, how about you? Overly possessive.
Yeah, and with me, I can say many years ago, or blue moons ago, I could find myself identifying with a lot of those adjectives that you spoke of. But as I grew older and became more of a man in my own rights, then I started to dismissing a lot of those adjectives as well. So I could stand corrected and say, even when you were saying that, I heard my name in those adjectives as well.
When you say overly possessive, be a little more descriptive in that. Break that down some.
Well, overly possessive in the sense that you own your woman. You control her actions. You tell her when and where she can and can't go, who she can and can't talk to, things like that.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest thing, of course, I'm a male, so visually, my woman has to be very appealing to me. However, one of the biggest things that I like about a woman is they think so different than we do. So for me to try to control her would be me to limit that. I don't want that.
Let me present a scenario to you fellas. You're at a club with your woman.
Right.
You go to the bathroom or go to the bar, something like that.
Yeah.
You come back and you see some dude trying to holler at your woman. What do you do in that scenario?
I mean,
How you gonna handle that?
well, for me personally, I am not the kind of guy that's gonna go up and be mad that the dude tried to talk to my lady. If she's beautiful, and I'm going to expect that. My thing would be how she responds to it. That's the thing. If she's like, hey, get out my face, move, you know what I mean? And the guy is just being persistent or just constantly in her face, then yeah, violence is a possibility. I'm just letting you know now. But if she is giving him, feedback and smiling and everything, then yeah, I'm a man. I'm going to be jealous of that. I mean, if she's seen another woman in my face and I'm skinning and grinning in her face, because let's just be for real, I have been the type of guy that women have said that I am very flirtatious. I'm guilty as charged. I will not lie. However, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I have worked on over the years.
Absolutely.
So I don't, I try not to let that type of toxicity be in my relationship. If it's something I can change, I'm going to try and change. I'm going to try to conform to make it better. But I am like Doc. It's certain things that is just not going to happen.
Now, me personally, I don't frequent bars or clubs, but if somebody tried to pull up on my wife in church, so to speak, I know that who I married. And that's the thing about it. And we spoke some on the last show about this. It's who you marry, who you choose. And I think, fellas, you have to choose very carefully your mate. And a lot of times men choose with their eyes and they choose the physical attributes instead of the mental, the emotional, and spiritual attribute. And what they get is you pay for what you get.
You do.
And I know for myself, if I left any room and left my wife in any room, I trust my wife and know my wife enough that I could stay gone an hour. And when I get back, I'm still not worried, not even one bit.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Time
sir.
out. No, because I want to know you.
Okay.
You asked me. I want to pose that same question to you.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious. I'm not really a church-going
Ye-
man.
yes, sir.
Do dudes be trying to
to holler at women in church.
The enemy,
Yes.
and I thought you'd never ask. The enemy is everywhere, even in church. So if the enemy is in church and he has somebody that's want to be flirtatious, of course there are guys in church that are flirtatious, that'll try your woman. It's women in church that'll try me.
Yes, sir.
You know, that'll approach me and come to me. But it all depends on how I, you know, answer or how I respond back to it, you know. And they all over.
I gotta say, it happened before. My uncle and his wife were in church, and no lie, my uncle ended up beating the dude so badly in church, he told his son to go to the car and get the gun in church. So, it can definitely happen in church. Preachers holler at women in church too. It's just that.
Okay, so go ahead. You were going to ask me.
Yes, I want to know what is your response before I make mine. What is your response if you go off and you come back and a man is trying to holler at your lady?
Right.
If I'm in a club or a social situation and I walk away from my lady and I come back and I see a dude hollering or what, I've done this before. What I will do is stand off to the side and watch my lady, watch and see how she interacts with this dude. Like King Mel was saying, you know, see what kind of flirtatious look she's giving him, see what kind of feedback she's giving him. And then, you know, if the dude stays for too long, of course, I'm going to step up and, you know, claim ownership. But if he doesn't, I'll watch for a while and let him walk away, and then I'll step up to my lady and say, hey, baby, what was that about? You know, what was he trying to say to you, and how did you respond to it? That's my situation. I'm the type of dude that I will try to avoid confrontation as much as I can until that confrontation can no longer be avoided. That's my situation. In my younger days, like you said, King Lundy, in my younger days, I was ready to fight the drop of a hat. But, you know, I think the older you get, the more you mellow, the more you learn, and you know, the more you don't want to get into fights for fear of getting hurt. So that's my answer to the question.
In my younger days as well as now, I'm confrontational. I'm not trying to start anything with anybody. Usually my size and demeanor, you know, people don't bother me. I don't bother anybody. I like that aspect. If somebody was trying to holler at my woman, and it happens all the time, my woman is nice. I mean, my woman is extremely physically attractive. So anywhere we go, I always feel like I'm with the baddest woman in the room, and I tell her that. So I expect guys to holler at her. I just do. And if I walk off, I know by the time I get back, somebody's going to be trying to holler. But it's on her. You know, if she wants to be with that guy, then she's no longer my woman. I love my woman dearly. I love my woman, you know, with all of my heart. But if she chooses to be with somebody else, that's her choice, you know? So I would, you know, gracefully bow out. It would hurt like a son of a gun. I'd probably go home and cry like a little.
Hold on, Doc. Hold on.
I'm just being real.
I just heard Doc say, and I know you heard him say this too, King. Doc said he loved his wife dearly.
Woman.
But if she choose somebody else, he'll bow out.
Okay, so here's the thing. I understand where
But
you're
he loved her dearly.
You do.
How do you bow out when you love somebody dearly?
Because that's her
Absolutely.
choice. Now,
Because
if
you
he
have
came at her,
he's right. You have to do that. Because here's the thing. You can't keep someone or something that does not want to be kept. The thing is, if you do that or if you try and do that, man, what's going to happen is you're going to end up doing something, right, that's purely violent, and I can promise you that, right? And when you do that, someone else is still going to end up with her while your freedom has been lost.
So whatever happened to a man fighting for his woman?
Now,
whatever happened to a man fighting for his woman?
I don't have a problem with fighting for my woman at all.
No, you supposed to fight for baby girl.
Hey, if somebody's coming at her and she tells them leave her alone and they keep on, I don't mind stepping in at all. In fact, yesterday we were somewhere and I thought somebody bumped into her. I was furious. I walked up and I said, did this so-and-so just bump into you? He about as close as me to him. I'm like, did he just bump into you? He about my size, a little thicker than me, but he bumped. And she say, no, put your arm. No, he didn't bump into you. No, he didn't bump into me. And I let it go. But I was furious because, you know, that ain't something I feel like should happen.
Yeah. Right.
Apologize, my eyes are running. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was
allergies
like,
or something.
I didn't mean to have you.
My eyes are running.
No, but you know what? You know what? Real quick before we go to break, I want to agree with King Lundy. Now, there is a point where, you know, if your woman makes it clear to you that
Yes.
she don't want to be with you no more, and she has made that clear, that you do have to gracefully bow out. But, and this is one of the adjectives for toxic masculinity,
Right.
over competitiveness. Now, if my woman comes home and tells me she met another dude, and you know, I love her to the degree that you say you love your woman, I'm gonna
Yes.
fight for my lady.
Yeah,
now it ain't gonna be
say that,
physical,
King Trevor.
but
That's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
fight for my
talking
lady.
about.
We gonna get more into that.
I'm gonna get to
absolutely.
some of these comments, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk
Y'all
more on
come
this when we
back
come back
to
from break.
Definitely, definitely.
Oh yeah, I like the way you move, the way that you comb your hair. And girl, when you get real close to me, it shows me that you really care. And when you call me honey, and then you hold my hand, I'm so glad it's me, my darling, being your man. I like the way you move your body. I like the way you comb your hair. I like that fancy dress you wearing. I'm so glad that you are here. Yes, I like the way that you move.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Hey, welcome back. Let me get to some of these comments real quick. After I said hello to some people. Angie, you said that's physiology. Explain that if you don't mind. Erica Quinn says, I agree. I'm a woman, and I don't think women should play football. I feel you on that one. Angie says, facts preach.
You got it.
That's trust. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Marcus said, we look sharp. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Marcus. We appreciate you, bro. Hey, Marcus, yeah, you know you can, I want to hit you up about advertising on the show. You know, doing advertising your business on the show. We'll holler later. Show Enough says, being flirtatious isn't toxic, it's a sign of approval.
Right.
I'm curious what you mean by that, Show Enough. Angie, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours. I had that poster on my wall when I was a kid, Angie. Mel and you know, some people are watching. Back what we were saying. Okay, the difference with me is I don't want to waste time and possibly my life because I don't fight to play. If I'm fighting you, my objective is to try to kill you. So I'm gonna do what I can to not fight initially, right? But if it comes to that, it comes to that. My woman is my everything, you know, and I tell her that. I want her to know that she's my everything.
Now, we're not talking about physical fight, dog. We're talking about fighting to win her love back.
Well, see, that's
Right?
just it.
Yes, sir.
To win her love back. If my woman loves me and she knows how much I care about her,
Right.
for her to come to me and say that
It's another
she
dude.
wants to be with somebody else,
Right.
she knows me well enough to know that that's unacceptable to me. So at that point, to me, she's already gone. At that point, to me, anything I'm doing now is just a waste of time. I'm not going to beg anybody to be with me,
Right.
because I try to treat my woman like a queen. You know, I make sure that if she wants something, I try to make sure that I'm either providing it or doing my best to try to get to where I can
But
provide
let
it.
me ask you this,
So-
what about getting to the root of why
Okay.
she's choosing somebody else. Why not go to the core of it and say, hey, listen,
Okay.
is it me? Is it something that I'm doing?
Brother,
Don't
if-
just say, well, oh, she gone,
If she-
that's it. I put in all this time
if
and
she's
money
seeing
and
another
everything
man,
else,
then the
you know,
root of the problem is already too big.
Yeah.
Because she should have come to me before that.
Okay.
Like we always have the opportunity to be with somebody else. I have
Right.
women flirt with me a lot, but
Right.
there's not even an option. You know,
Okay.
that's
You gotta understand that communication is key. If you're not communicating with somebody,
Absolutely, I agree
if
with
you're
you.
not saying what's wrong, if the only thing you do is get quiet, you know, I ask my lady now, I say, listen, I was asking her before we left, I said, what's wrong? You kind of quiet. She says nothing. No, I promise you it's nothing. But I'm not used to the quietness. You feel me? So for me, it felt like something was wrong, right? It could absolutely be nothing, but
Right.
it doesn't feel like it's nothing. So, you know, when you're
nothing feels like nothing. Something will always feel like something.
not necessarily.
Don't let that trick you now.
Now listen, not
You know?
necessarily, because what I'm saying is, you could be thinking one thing,
Okay.
or you could be overthinking something.
Okay,
We have all overthought things before. So
absolutely.
you could be like, you know, I know I haven't done anything, but let me just double check on this silence.
Right,
You know? You
right.
could just be having one of them days where you just feel like not talking at the moment.
We
and
have
that's
a
okay.
male intuition. I do, you do, Doc do,
Yeah.
and you do.
Yeah.
That tells us different signals and send us
Yeah,
signs and everything.
exactly.
Come from all over the place.
And y'all say a
when you
woman's
sit out,
intuition.
when you sit out in that chair, you knew that chair was gonna hold your bottom. You knew it was gonna hold your bottom.
I was hoping so.
You weren't even worried about it. So when your woman comes to you and tells you something, you got to be able to hold it
Facts.
firm and believe it. But a
Facts.
lot of times, Doc, women go through
Yeah.
way more issues than men, and they don't like to share them
Exactly.
because men are hardening themselves, Brother Trevor, to the fact that I don't want to hear, you know?
Well, that's one of the things
Yeah.
on my list
Absolutely.
of toxic male traits, and that is not listening.
Absolutely.
You know, being insensitive to the needs of a woman. Are y'all guilty of that? Because I'm not.
We all are. at some
I don't
fact
think
mistake.
that I don't think that I'm guilty of being insensitive to the needs of women. I just think that certain things that women may take as, you know, overly important, or they're overly sensitive about.
Right.
Men are more like,
there you
you know,
go.
it don't really, you know, it ain't
Absolutely.
really, it don't really bother us like that.
Yeah.
But that's the exact. I mean, now, if I'm a woman,
Yeah.
which I'm not, but if I'm a woman,
I would certainly hope not after you said you got a wife with kids.
but if I'm a woman, that's
beard and all that.
exactly
Yes, sir.
That's exactly the thing that a woman is going to say. A woman is
Absolutely.
going to tell you, well, it might not mean anything to you, but
Right.
it means something to me, so I need you to pay attention to it, and that's the definition
Right.
of being insensitive. You thinking that a woman is blowing up over something that you don't think she needs to blow up over,
Right.
but she's in her place thinking, you know, let me do me. Let me express myself the way I want to. So that's what I think a woman would call
I would-
insensitive. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong at all. I went through that a few weeks ago where my woman was talking to me about something and I started talking about something else. And it wasn't that I was necessarily trying to be dismissive.
Right.
It's just that my mind was completely on something else. And as a male, you're taught that from the time you're little. You know, you can't cry. You feel when the stuff is finished, whenever it's real responsibility is done. That's when you feel. If something needs to be done, get it done. Everything else is not even your focus.
Men are taught to be action oriented.
Exactly.
Get
That-
results.
That's what I tried to explain to my woman as well, that it's like, I'm not trying to do it, and please help me because I don't want to lose her over anything. So, you know, I'm trying to understand that better and be better
Right.
at it.
Okay.
But
I'm trying
it has
to.
to be, like, we have conversations now that are longer because it takes me a long time, and I know she gets frustrated, but she has to say things different ways for me to understand, because something she said and I dismissed it, and and after she explained to me, I was like, wow, I bet that was frustrating. I bet it was extremely annoying that you talking to me about something that you heard that you were trying to do actually for me.
Right.
And I just dismissed it like you hadn't said anything. And you done thought about this and compromised and all this kind of stuff. And I just came off like a complete ass, like a complete
A-hole.
exactly, and dismissed it. But it took This wasn't a 5-second conversation. This was a 5-6 day conversation.
Right.
Because I just didn't get it initially.
So the question is, if that's the case, then you're saying that men can be insensitive to women, right? And what they're feeling or what they feel is important, then that works in just the same as it works in reverse, because women are exactly dismissive to something that a man may find important, and she doesn't see, you know what I'm saying, the importance of what he's saying, but to the man, it's like, so I don't know if that's considered a toxic thing. If I'm looking at it from that perspective, I'm looking at it saying that it could possibly just be a human or individual perspective, period.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It really does.
In a lot of ways,
Yeah.
a woman's point of view is she's more emotional about something that she wants to share with you, something that she wants you to know. On a man's perspective, a lot of times he may ask his woman, hey, you see the Lakers traded Rondo? Matt Ryan, he messing up today.
Yes.
And that's our whole conversation.
Yep.
She don't want to hear nothing about Matt Ryan. She don't want to hear nothing about who the Lakers traded. She want to hear about, is her thighs getting too big? Is her stomach getting too big? How does this makeup look? How does this hair look on her? But we'll push that away instead of telling her.
But in the new age,
Yeah.
they rather talk about reality shows and people on TV and stuff.
Some women, you're right.
And something that
Absolutely.
I personally, and I
Absolutely.
honestly
You
can tell you
absolutely
that
right.
me as a man, right? I watched Love and Hip Hop Atlanta one season, and that was when Jocelyn Hernandez was on there. I thought her body was just ridiculous, and then she opened her mouth and spoke, and it was just like, well, there that go, because I just couldn't take it.
Oh,
So-
I met her.
You can keep the conversation because I just already know.
The Go ahead to the next question.
I was just going to say, what was the last incident in y'all's relationship where your wife or your lady specifically told you you were being insensitive? Can you remember the last time
I
she
told you it
told
was
you?
about 3 weeks ago for
Okay.
me.
Mine was 2 days
we
ago.
we actually stopped the conversation for a day or two. You know, she was mad, and I called her like, look, I'm sorry. You know, it was kind of taken out of context because there's no way I would talk to you like that.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of how it's perceived, you have to know me well enough to know that I love you. And regardless
Right.
of how it's perceived, there has to be an ulterior meaning behind it. There has to be something that you don't see that I'm trying to express.
Exactly.
Because I would never talk down to you. I would never intentionally say anything to hurt you because you're everything to me.
And there's so many situations where women will take things out of context,
Yeah.
not realizing how much you do care about them, how much you do think about them, how much you do love them, how much they're on your mind. You
Right.
could do one tiny little thing wrong. Like it happened to me the other day. My wife said she wanted to go shopping, and I didn't really want to go shopping with her.
Right.
So I didn't say, baby, let me go with you. So she was like, you're not going to come? You're not going to, you don't want to go? And I was like, not really. See, you don't care about me. You don't love me.
That's the thing.
Baby, what you talking about?
Don't want to do something. The first thing comes out is that you don't care.
Oh, my God.
Now, I'm just going. Now I feel like now this probably may be a toxic masculinity trait that I'm about to say here, but you know, I think as a younger man, you know what I'm saying, that I feel the same way when you try to withhold sex or don't want to give it to me when I want it because. I mean, you don't care about me. You don't care about my needs. You don't care about my wants.
Bro, that's real. See,
That's just me.
People might think that's funny, but that's
It's
real. I
real,
mean,
though.
that's a need, a biological need that you
Exactly.
have, and your woman is ignoring it. Now, why can't you tell her that she's being insensitive?
Because the minute you do, you don't care, or you're being insensitive, or you don't understand. And I'm just looking at you.
You're being selfish.
Yeah, and when you look at them, like, what are you? What you know what?
Hey, I feel like
all
you
right.
should.
Right.
All jokes aside, because just like she has to understand, just like you have to understand her needs, she has to understand yours.
Absolutely. Right.
And there's
Across
another
the
thing
board.
Okay, because of, like I said, the responsibility aspect of
Exactly.
me, I try to make sure that I'm never too tired or whatever to go shopping.
Right.
If my woman wants something, then her need is never too much for me, unless I'm doing something and I just can't.
Right.
So if I can, then I
Yes.
will. My woman and I live a nice little distance away from each other. But if she was to call me and say, there's a spider in the living room, I want you to come kill it.
You on your way.
I would get up and go kill it. That's me. But that took a lot of time to learn. But her needs are extremely important to me.
Right.
And I might even overdo it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she calls me crazy. She'll be like, I don't believe your crazy behind did blah, 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 and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And I don't believe that we got to go to break right now, but
Yeah.
we'll be back in a moment. And I'm going to get to some of your comments, too.
How can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. How can you...
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
Listen, we are live. The talk show kings are back, man.
Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus
Yeah.
is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the walls to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here at one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is
Listen, we are live. The talk show kings are back, man.
Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus
Yeah.
is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the walls to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying. And man, when I walked by, it was a dead cat.
Where?
It was in the road. You know how I knew it was dead?
How?
I pissed in his ear. Yeah, I walked up and said, psst.
Okay, I thought
Hey, welcome back, family. How y'all doing? Okay, we were talking about toxic masculinity, and I want to get to a few of these comments. Somebody said, okay, there it is. Kim Blackwell said, I agree, communication is key. Hobo said, show enough. A woman making more than a man brings out something in a man, not saying it's toxic. The whole making more, I don't really know about, but I know that I couldn't live off of a woman. Like, I couldn't not work, sit in the house and play PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever, and my woman's out working. That is just beyond my realm of comprehension. I would have to be out trying. I would have to be out selling oranges or something. I'm going to be doing something to try to bring money in because I have to contribute. I want to be doing more. So if my woman's making more than me, then I'm going to try to, raise myself up.
Right.
Even if I can't, I'm going to try.
But I understand where you come. But see, it's different when you say if she's out working and making more and you're just sitting in the house playing video games or whatever, right? It's a different animal if she's college educated and you may not be college educated, right? Her job may require her to have a certain degree and she's able to gain that position. But if you're out working, you may be a landscaper or whatever the case may be, right? And she may make six figures and you may, make maybe $40,000 a year. But you're not living off of her, you are contributing. It just so happens that her job gives her a position. Now, as a man, if you allow that to say, okay, I can't be in this relationship because my friends look down on me and talk or joke or pick at me because you make more than me or whatever, right? That, I don't think that's the same as living off of a woman.
Right.
Contribution is something that should be respected from both ends, you know? But if you're just sitting in the house playing video games, then I'm like you on that. Yeah, I can't just do that.
That's what I was saying. I'm going to contribute. I mean, you could be fired. You can have a job making $250,000 today and be fired tomorrow.
Exactly.
And now your woman makes more than you because you're unemployed.
Exactly.
Anything can happen at any time. But I'm saying even if that's the case, I'm going to still be trying to do something.
Now, are these married couples or just couples shacking or just couples
with
going
me,
together?
couples, period.
Right.
My woman and I, we don't live together, but if she wants something, then I'll try to make sure she gets it.
See, because a lot of instances, when people are married, then there is no yours or mine. It's ours together. So
I hear that a lot, but I haven't seen it.
$100,000 or whether I'm making $20,000, we are still. If I'm making $20,000 and she's making $80,000, together as a married family, we are making $100,000 together. In a lot of instances, when and you're not married, and she's making $50,000 and you're making $20,000, guess what's gonna happen the first time an argument ensues? She's gonna let you know about her $50,000, and she's gonna let you know about your $20,000.
With that being said, our next topic was toxic femininity.
Toxic femininity. So
there you go.
So let me ask. Let me point this out. In most relationships, the man's money is the relationship's money. But the woman's money is her money. Tell me I'm lying.
Well, in a lot of relationships, as I said,
your money is y'all's money, but her money is her money.
In a lot of relationships that you choose that woman, and she feels that way. If you're married to a woman, of course she's not going to feel that way. That's why on my radio show I tell a lot of couples, and I tell women, stop playing the role of a wife if you're not his wife yet. I tell men, stop playing the role of a husband if you're not the husband. Makes sense.
I got a couple traits here. Toxic femininity, which I had never really even heard of it before I researched it, and that tells you something about it. Toxic masculinity is on the lips of everybody. Everybody has an idea what that is. But toxic femininity, something we never talk about. So here's a couple traits of toxic femininity: putting your hands on a man abusively, and then using your woman card to tell him that he better not hit you back.
That's definitely toxic.
I don't play violence.
Okay.
I'm not with it. My temper way too bad, so you know I'm only gonna take so.
But
many
there are
before I attack,
definitely-
so let's not do that.
There are definitely women out there who have no problem putting their hands
No
on their
whatsoever.
dudes, and then as soon as he lifts his hand to do something back, she's automatically like, "You better not touch me."
And in the
I'm a
court
woman.
system, in the court system, you know, the court system
Absolutely.
is not really.
The,
it's not
the
really,
court system supports
it
that
is.
toxic
supportive
femininity.
of the.
All right, so
They encourage it, actually.
here's another one.
I hadn't seen that one. Huh?
Belittling men, putting men down. Oh, you ain't nothing. You
do that
ain't
a
got
lot.
no money. You ain't nothing.
That's happened to me. My son's mother actually did that. It was crazy because I remember when I was working and she lost her job while she was pregnant. And she lost her job due to her attitude and her mouth. You know what I'm saying? And so for like the next, no, I'm serious. So like the next 5 months after that, right? I took over, I paid her car note. I paid her car insurance. It was me, you know, getting the tires on and gassing it up and oil. I did all that, even though the car was in her name.
Right.
And then after everything was said and done, I mean, the disrespect that actually just used to come out of her mouth, I used to be like, seriously? Like, you can seriously sit there and say the things you're saying out of your mouth, right? But then as a man, I'm supposed to just take it, you know?
But see, everybody in your life is not necessarily supposed to be in your life. If somebody will do that to you, then why are you holding on to them? Because evidently they don't care about you. If a person cares about you, then how you feel matters.
Yeah.
So if a woman is going to talk to you like that, then why is she your woman? You know? I mean,
That's a great question. But you know what? I mean, keep it real. I mean, women seem to believe that they are allowed to say anything under any circumstance. And I mean, that's been my experience.
It has been my experience in the past.
If you allow them to,
boom.
especially.
Exactly.
Because if you carry yourself and you carry your demeanor in a sense, and a lot of times, you know, you can meet women and she'll say, man, I'm not gonna say that to him. That dude crazy. You know, oh no, look at his demeanor. You know, I'm not gonna, I'm not finna disrespect him to say nothing to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you let them play with you and you let them say stuff, see, a woman just like men in the streets, they'll try you. And if she can get away with calling you fat and bald head, then guess what? Next week you're gonna be ugly and stinking. You know,
Along with fat bald head.
Then after that you're gonna be something else.
I get it. He was keeping it clean because my mind frame instantly went to some stuff I done heard, and I was just like, yeah. I just feel like, man, that in society, the women they feel like they're supposed to be able to get away with things. You know, they're supposed to be able to put their hands on women. I always say to me, a real man don't put his hands on no woman.
Yeah.
This is me. A real woman don't put herself in a position to have to be treated like a man, because this is how it goes. If a woman joins the military and they give her a gun and she's shooting at the people on the other side, though that is the opposition. The opposition is not going to not shoot her because she is a woman.
Absolutely.
She is being violent against them, and they are going to strike back, woman or man. And I feel like that if a woman is continuously going to put her hands on a man, she has to expect to actually get hit back.
Women got crazy double standards. They
People
feel like
have-
they feel like they can say
double standards.
This is
People
true,
have
but I mean,
crazy
in this context, we talk about women
Okay,
and men.
gotcha.
Women feel like they can say, do anything. You as a man, you're supposed to be strong enough to just take it and not dish it out. But that's just not real. That's just not real. Let me keep going with some more of these toxic.
Whoa. Doc, open mouth, insert foot. Ain't that the truth, Angie? Show no hobo scratch. Romance follows. Doc, all that sweet. Angie, you know I'm a gangster. Boy, stop. Hush, Angie. Show enough, the person who controls the money should not control the money. I didn't get that, so I said, and they said, no one person, the union should control the money. I understand that, and it makes sense, but yeah, it's ins and outs to that. Kim Blackwell says, don't generalize, or do not generalize. What do you mean? I mean, because we have to generalize. We're not talking about any specific person.
Right.
So you're going off a tendency of what you think of the generalized person, public, not just any one particular individual.
Exactly.
Sure enough, the married kings and the single kings should take their position. I feel you on that one to a certain extent.
Well, what do you mean by that specifically?
If you're, like Lundy was saying, if you're married, then you act married. If you're single, then you act single. There are certain things that I know that I do that a husband would do. I don't know if I should or not, but I do, and it's because of how much I care for my woman. But I don't know if I should, you know.
What, like what? Be specific. Like what? Because I feel the same as you. Like, I sort of feel like if I'm in a relationship, I am married. But before I was married, if I was with a woman and we had a long-term relationship, I treat her like the same I would treat my wife. I don't know the difference.
There's some things I'm not going to discuss on air.
I don't think
Okay, we leave that there.
I think that if you're in a relationship, whether it be a marriage or not, look, step up to the plate and say what it is that you want and do what it is that you're trying to do. Because here's the thing, you're not gonna go around and masquerade. If you go around and masquerade like you want one thing but you really want another, then in the end it's gonna all go to hell.
House of
You know
cards.
what I'm saying? So be upfront, say what you mean what you say, and do that. You know what I'm saying? And if the person is not with that, then it's okay for you to go ahead and, hey, I'm gonna just bow out as gracefully because this isn't going in the direction that we first discussed. And that's okay. That saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of energy.
I think that a lot of people fall for people too quick. Like before you get to know somebody, you already, quote unquote, in love.
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary to me.
Yeah.
But people
And
seem
I
to do it all the time.
reiterate on this over every show we do. If I have to reiterate and reiterate and reiterate on it, you got to choose and pick very carefully your mate. You just can't pick her because she look a certain way or she has certain attributes, because even if you take her home with those attributes, a lot of those attributes she's going to put off and put on the dress anyway. If you know what I mean.
Time out. Wait, time out.
I just says he not paying rent unless they live together. I feel you on that one. I ain't paying rent either, but it's still the other stuff beside rent.
Put him on the dress in. All I think is hey, listen, it reminds me of what was that?
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you sucked. Was this wig?
Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you now. That's all I'm trying to
off the
tell you now.
leg. Threw it on.
When you're dating, a lot of times during the initial dating phase, it's all fake, because you're putting on your best person. She's putting on her best person to meet each other, to know each other, and to get each other to like each other. After you've been together for a while and you start to settle in, then you realize the things where you were raised different and you see things differently.
Absolutely.
But in my getting older, so much stuff just don't matter. It's so irrelevant. If you want the tissue this way or that way, I could care less.
Right.
As long as there's some tissue on the roll, I'm cool.
Absolutely.
You want the trash taken out, okay? I'm okay with that. You know, I mean, I put food in a different bag in my house than I do paper and stuff, because I take food out every day because I don't want bugs in my house. I don't want to go to break, but we got to go to break, and we'll be back shortly.
For sure.
A reliable source of CBD products. Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit HolisticWellnessBoutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Man, I don't care. Fish can't fly. I don't believe what
they can.
Okay, anyway. Kim Blackwell, thank you for the artwork in the studio. We appreciate it. We love you for it, and we really appreciate it, Kim Blackwell. So we want to give a shout out. While we're giving shout outs, King Lundy, can you give some shout outs, please, sir?
Oh, I thought you never asked.
Oh, man.
Hey, listen, you guys, thank you for tuning in to an amazing show. But it does not stop here. Felix Washington, our executive producer, he has a plethora of shows right here on TV 1061, right here in the home of Douglasville, Georgia. We're going to start out Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. If you can sing, if you can rap, or if you can speak poetry, whatever you do, tune in to The Flavor at 8 o'clock. Call the station, find out who you need to speak with so that you can join us one day and get your talent known.
Hey, get
also, the playlist at 9:30. We're talking about some of the smoothest playlists you ever want to hear. Whatever genre of music that you like, tune into the playlist at 9:30. And don't forget that Thursday night, Bedroom Chronicles.
Bedroom
Take it easy and slow, but you kids, you got to be in the bed for this one.
Yeah,
Tune
you
in,
kids.
6 o'clock.
But not in the same bed.
Not in the same bed. And I got to put on John Lennon.
That's a different show.
Also, don't forget Saturday, One Nation
Under a groove.
2 o'clock
Hey.
coming at you, One
Get on
Nation.
down.
Also, the
Quartet
conversation at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. You got the conversation, but we saved the best for last. Coming to you Sunday at 4:30. They are back by popular demand. Those talk show divas. Tune in and listen to some of the flies. I mean, some of the flies, baddest women this side of the
What,
Mississippi?
Mississippi. You heard it. But guess what? Coming back at you 6:30. I'm talking about King Doc, King Mel, King Trevor, and King London. Brought to you by none other than Felix Washington and my man in the back. We talking about Jason Pulley.
Hey,
We're
Jason,
talking about your
Jason,
favorite
man.
talk show,
Oh, we
King.
did. Yeah.
And we are here to give it to you straight, no chaser. Talk
just
show
do that.
Kings. We'll be back.
But you can't just do that.
Yes, we
What-
can.
what-
No,
we
we
can't
missing.
because we forgot Miss Shantae Box.
Can't
Miss
forget
Shantae
Shantae Boswell.
I told
You
you.
already know we was not going to forget
And I
you.
also forgot to tell y'all, listen, it's been a pandemic, everybody's struggling.
Absolutely.
Man, even the Kings are struggling, but we all get it, man. So listen, if you're out there and you just feel like blessing us and showing us
Yeah.
some love, you can cash app us, man. Anything can help. 50 cents, $1, or whatever you can,
Yes.
we can take that right there. So it's $ TV 1061. Again, $ TV 1061. Y'all bless us so we can continue to bless y'all with an amazing show. But back to it.
Hey, so okay, so
Yes,
we
sir.
talking about toxic femininity, which you may never have even heard of, but it is a thing, and this is my biggest beef with women. The biggest toxic femininity
Right.
I gotta hear this
aspect,
one.
and that is women who never admit they're wrong, and women who never say I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Facts.
Yeah.
Now let me ask
that's
y'all,
deep.
honestly,
Yes.
have you been, how many times in y'all's relationship can you remember that a woman actually came to you and said, you know what, my mistake, I was wrong, I'm sorry.
Right.
That just don't really happen often, does
Right.
it?
Oh, I get to say absolutely in this relationship right here, right now. And this is me when it happens.
Breath of fresh air, right?
This is me. This is me. I'm about to use what the women like to say on the thing, clutches pearls. Oh my. So it's happening. It's not me for
So
a
it's a
change.
surprise. It doesn't. Why is that? Why is it that women don't like to admit that they're wrong and don't like to say I'm sorry? Why?
I think
You'd have to
that's
ask a
because-
woman that. I couldn't tell you, but
Absolutely.
in general, that is a true statement.
I think that is because, like you were saying with the toxic femininity, right? It happens to be one of those things where if they apologize,
Right.
they may feel as though they're bowing in submission
Right.
to a man.
And
And
admitting
they-
they're wrong.
But a
lot of
woman
times.
will want a man to apologize
immediately.
immediately. Why is that? And a man will
Right.
do that. You'll apologize for nothing.
Right.
Even if you didn't do nothing wrong,
If
you'll
you're
apologize.
Okay, because men are looked at like the dominant or, the dominant species as far as when it comes to build and everything. Women always saying, men have been treating women like this for years. We've been under you guys' foot or thumb for years. We're always expected to be submissive, And so if a man is apologizing to a woman, that makes her feel, like, okay, I am in control of this situation. So that's my take on it.
A
I could be
man
wrong.
will always apologize first.
Absolutely.
A man will always, why King London? I'll tell you why. The woman holds something that a man wants.
Oh, yes. Lord.
A woman holds something that a man wants and he can't get it from nobody else but a woman.
Yeah, but he
So
can get
you
it.
best believe
He can get it from another woman.
You know what? Let me, and I'm gonna say this right here. When a man proposes to a woman, what does he do?
Gets on his knees.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Gets on his knees.
He gets on his knees.
But why he got to do
Because
all that?
a woman holds what a man wants.
But wait a minute.
He gonna get out on his knee in front of his mama, in front of his preacher, in front of the church. Cause she hold what a man wants, and when a man wants something so bad enough, he'll get out on the knee.
But let me present you
Even
with
if
a
he has
situation.
Let's go.
A woman could cut your finger off.
Yes.
and make you think it's your fault and still not say I'm sorry.
Yes.
She can do the worst thing on this earth to you and still make you
Absolutely.
feel like it's your fault. Do you
Absolutely.
believe it's up to the man to go back to the woman and say, baby, why you cut my finger off? Because I put it out there, it was my mistake. I didn't mean to do that. Mama, I'm sorry, baby, you cut my finger off. That's not
Absolutely.
right.
Well,
Like,
baby,
if
you
a
cut
woman cut my
off.
finger off, I would put 2 bullets in her forehead.
No.
I'm not playing that
I
game.
was just about to say that. If you allowed her to sit there and cut your finger off, you
No, you
fool.
might be asleep. Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
I'm sure when the
dude-
woman cut the man's thing off, I'm pretty sure that
because John
she had
Wayne,
drug
was it John Wayne Bobbitt,
Bobbitt.
John Bobbitt, yeah, and she cut his penis off. Listen to me good. She's still alive, and I don't understand that. But me personally, after it's sewn back on or whatever the case may be,
You
the
going
hunt-
after her.
Oh, the hunt is on. Listen, yeah, I can't tell
okay, now you gotta be realistic because he was drugged and she was gone. If you go hunt her, you're going to jail forever, because you had intentional. It's premeditated murder. If you call the police, which you should do, if she's there, I get it. Like I say, like if I'm there and my finger's cut off, whack, then pow pow. But if it's whack and I wake up and she's gone, then I'm calling the folks.
You say it's premeditated, right?
Yes.
I mean, I just can't believe that cutting a man's penis off wasn't premeditated.
Come on now.
It just you can't tell me she just woke up
with some scissors
Well,
on
cut
her
this dick off.
pillow.
Okay,
Sorry,
you still
penis,
you missing
penis,
you
penis,
missing the
penis,
thing.
my
Nobody's saying it's not, but I'm saying you're talking about killing her, right? If she cuts your thing off and you go after justice yourself, if you get in your car, drive to wherever she is,
Okay, so what if I just cut her clit off?
and then you say after, then you going the same whatever she going to.
Okay.
Whatever jail she's going to, you'll be in the male version.
So if I just cut her,
All right, so how about this?
And you retarded.
Here's another situation.
Don't cut my nut. We ain't got to go through that. Hey, if I'm ever with any woman, we ain't got to do all that.
For real,
We can
no.
go our
This
separate
is
ways
just the
without
fun
cutting off
aspect of
anybody anything. It ain't that serious to me. Never.
Yes,
Another
sir.
situation, and this is another situation where women seem to feel entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Entitlement is a good word.
Yes.
When a man does something wrong to a woman, the woman will trash his car, take all his clothes out the closet, throw them down on the sidewalk, burn them up,
Right.
and act like she's in the right, like
Yeah.
she has the right to do that.
A friend of
Why
mine,
is that?
a friend of mine's girl took all his shoestrings out his shoes, put them in a bowl in some water, and put them in the freezer. Now that wasn't terrible,
That's just
but
funny.
it was hilarious
That's
to
funny. I'm
me.
sorry, that's
You know,
funny.
it's funny. Now imagine if you did that to your woman. Imagine you
Right.
took some shoelaces out your woman's shoes, put them in the oven, and then laughed about it.
But I'm gonna tell you something. He just said that a woman holds something that a man wants. Here's my thing, though. When women do that and want to withhold, the goods from a man,
Right.
I kind of gotta ask though, man. What do they expect for a man to do? Do you want us to continue to go in there and watch Pornhub or something? I'm just asking
That is a
because
great question, bro.
because here's the thing. If a woman wants sex, she's going to expect a man to give her the pleasure.
You got to perform.
But when you want it, you can either, you want it too much. Listen, we in the bed and we naked and there's skin-to-skin contact, I'm massaging your back and your skin feels soft to me. I have not gotten to the point in life where I can just rub you and not want anything all the time. I mean, I will rub you and still not take it there because I'm like, okay, I'm going to let you rest or whatever the case may be, right? But you can't expect this to go on for a week or 2 or 3 or whatever, and nothing happens because at the end of the day, you're going to say, well, if what I was doing wasn't pleasing, you should have just left. But when you leave, then, all you wanted me for was this, that, and the other. It's always something behind it.
Let me ask you a question. Well, I'm going to pose a question to all the guys sitting up here. In your relationship, is sex needed or is it a requirement?
Both.
I don't both now.
It's
I don't
both.
understand that.
I
Is it
need
needed
it,
or is
and
it
it is
requirement?
required.
Right, because a lot of guys that are in relationship, they need to have sex every single day. They need to have sex. But a lot of guys, before they go out with a woman, hey, I like to have sex 3 times or 4 times a week. It becomes a requirement for the relationship. So my question was, in your relationship,
Go ahead.
is it needed or is it a requirement?
That's a great question. I'm in therapy right now.
Right.
For that very reason.
Right.
I'm not, maybe I shouldn't admit that.
No, you're keeping it real.
But I'm in therapy
Right.
right now because I came into my relationship feeling like I needed
absolutely.
X amount of times a week.
Right.
And if I ain't getting it X amount of times a week, we fighting. My
Okay.
therapist sat me down. This was just 2
Oh,
weeks
y'all
ago.
doing what?
My therapist sat me down and told me.
Slide over some.
Yo, my therapist sat me down a couple weeks ago and told me, Trev, you cannot have a requirement,
Right.
number
Absolutely.
of times per week
Absolutely.
that you require your wife to have sex
Right.
with you. Because if she doesn't feel like it,
Right.
then you automatically have set yourself up as,
Mm-hmm.
fighting.
Right.
So I'm right now in my life trying to release
Absolutely.
that necessity or that requirement. I'm trying to tell myself, well, Trev, maybe you don't need it 4 or 5 times a week. Maybe 1 or 2 times a month is fine, Trev. But
Right.
that don't make me happy.
Right.
But maybe it makes my wife feel a little
Right.
bit less pressured. And you know what? I have
Right.
found as a result of my therapy, because of me releasing this requirement,
Absolutely.
it has created a situation in my relationship where we get along much, much better. Now, we don't have sex as much as I want.
Right.
But,
Absolutely.
I love my wife enough to have to,
Right.
be able to deal with that. Put it like that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Go.
we have to go, gentlemen. We're out of
Now-
time.
Hold
Hold
go
on,
well.
wait, before we go, I'm just gonna say this. I gotta
Myself
say
on
one
the
thing before we,
bus.
cause listen, I don't know if you should have said you were in therapy about that. That's just funny to me. But I do understand.
It's just
Look,
real like that.
I do
Absolutely.
understand that, it'll get to a point where you don't need it as much or want it as much. It can happen. That can happen in life.
Right.
But as the significant other in the relationship, you should want to please your significant other. Now,
100%.
every day, no, that can have a tendency to leave the woman's body sore, the man super tired, you spent, whatever. That can lead to other problems. But you should really want to at least please your mate often. It doesn't have to be every day, but I don't think that a person should have to go without just because you feel that way. Because, hell, I might feel like I want to go without complimenting you, without saying I love you. Hell, I'm here every day. You know I love you. Why I got to keep saying it?
You might want to go without going to work.
Oh,
There you go. But it's required that I go to work because these bills
it's
got to be paid.
required that we end the show.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to get into
Okay, well,
that deep into my personal life
Mike, that's
because
my thing ain't working.
yeah. But we do have 2 of the kings with birthdays.
Yeah, absolutely.
King Trevor's birthday, King Mel's birthday was last Tuesday.
Yes, it
And
was.
King Lundy's birthday was Friday. And from the Talk Show Kings to you guys, I would like to say, happy birthday to you.
Hey.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Now,
Yeah.
Thank
Kings,
you.
let's go ahead and do our salutations.
Absolutely.
Listen, I didn't mean to throw myself under the bus.
It's all good. It's all
That was
good.
It's
good.
about my personal life and my therapy, but it's all good, it's real, and it's just like that. I want to say a shout out to my brother down in Florida. Adrian, it's going to be cool. It's going to be good. You're going to be good. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to my lovely wife. You're all that I need. I'll be there for you.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate y'all watching the show. We'll be back next week. Peace and love from me, King Trev.
All right. Thank you so very much for the fans that have tuned into the show. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my mother, Lady G, Geneva London. Thank you for watching. Marcy, my siblings. Just thank you. I thank my friends, my Facebook family, my classmates, my immediate family for an awesome birthday. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Before I go to Chow, I want to give you a shout out. I told you I would. Thank you for making that day special, Saturday night. And to my wonderful wife, who I couldn't have made it this far without you. Thank you so much. I love you. And that's Natalie Lundy. Peace.
And me, I just want to give a shout out to all my friends, my family. I want to give a special shout out to my lady. I love you. Thank you for just putting up with me. I'm stubborn. I'm hard-headed. Yeah, my drive is a little off the chain, so, I understand all that. But thank you for just being there. Thank you for putting up with me. I just want to say one more thing about the comment. She suggested that we all try out the toys. Listen, I'm a man. I'm not going to buy a toy for a man. It's not happening. But hey, y'all out there, man. Y'all out for this number of love, baby. Yes, pocket thingamajiggies.
You can have that. You can
Yeah. I know I ain't into that. The last toy I bought was a Hot Wheel car, so I didn't do nothing with that. So
I want to give a shout out to my mother, Miss Regina Janet Schofield, the author of My Silly. My father, Mr. Kenneth Allen Moore Sr. Love your pops. He came over. We shot some pool Friday. I want to give a shout out to baby girl. You know you are my world. My sister Valerie, my sister Brittany. I want to give a shout out to my family. I want y'all to know how much I love you. I care about you. And my military people. Hey, you guys know that I always got your back. Thank you guys for watching. From all of us to all of you, thank you. And we'll be back next Sunday at 6:30.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man.
Y'all didn't know before. You're going to learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the wall to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.